Over the past billion years, asteroids have hit Earth, collided with other planets, and frozen several times. Not to mention all kinds of crazy life forms that control you. Sometimes it's a miracle that our blue home world survived at all. But if we want to take a tour of the history of our planet, we have to start from the very beginning. About 4.5 billion years ago, our solar system began to emerge from a dense cloud of interstellar gas and dust. This cloud collapsed into a rotating disk of matter, which grew hotter and hotter and hotter until the hydrogen melted into helium. And so our sun was born, and baby Earth was on the way too. After the birth of our star, all the material at the far ends of the spinning disk began to accumulate. These pieces would be the seedlings of the planets and moons of our solar system. As they collected more matter, they grew larger and more spherical. Closer to the sun, all the rocky material formed the inner planets, such as Mars and Earth. This young Earth was incredibly active, volcanically speaking. It emitted gases like hydrogen sulfide, methane, and carbon dioxide. Those gases formed the first atmosphere of our planet. Early Earth was constantly bombarded by large asteroids and comets, and soon the Earth experienced an even more violent collision. There, a planet the size of Mars crashed right into our young world. This epic collision threw pieces of matter everywhere in the orbit of the Earth, and then gravity connected them to form the Moon. This warm, early Earth had no oceans. All water existed as a gas. But 3.8 billion years ago, our planet cooled enough for water to condense and become liquid. The very first primitive ocean covered this young Earth and turned it into a water world. 2 is an essential ingredient in the creation of living things. So with all the water, life appeared on Earth about 3.7 billion years ago. These earliest life forms were microscopic organisms. But nearly a billion years after that, some of these organisms changed the course of the world. However, Earth did not remain a water world for very long. Soon the first continents emerged from the ancient ocean. Scientists call them cratons. As more and more land rose from the sea, the first supercontinent appeared on the planet. Vialbara wasn't exactly super-educated. It was quite small. Scientists think it was smaller than the Australian continent. About 2.4 billion years ago, blue-green algae evolved into our planet's first photosynthesizers. Eventually, we had some oxygen generators to make Earth's atmosphere much more hospitable. And the rest is history, folks. I'm just kidding. We still have a long way to go. With all this new oxygen, the Earth's atmosphere had much lower levels of carbon dioxide, and it froze the planet. Much of the young world was frozen when Earth experienced its first ice age. In some places, the glaciers reached the equator. As the Earth's atmosphere changed, so did the continents. They split and regrouped as the next supercontinent, Rodinia. Rodinia was a true supercontinent. It may have been the largest supercontinent that ever covered the planet. And life? Well, life ended up getting more complicated, but then something happened. Rodinia broke up and a new supercontinent emerged. It was called Pannotia. Then, about 540-480, 5 million years ago, there was an explosion of new life. That period was called the Cambrian Explosion, and animals that evolved during this time had hard body parts like shells or spines. The most famous of these were the alien-looking trilobites. About 440 million years ago, the climate and ocean temperature suddenly changed dramatically. Earth saw its first mass extinction. It was the Ordovician and Silurian extinction, and most of the life that spread across the planet disappeared. Many of these life forms laid the foundation for the ecosystems that exist on Earth today. Between 420 and 350 million years ago, the first trees emerged from the Earth, and the first animals also came ashore. 250 million years ago, our last huge supercontinent covered the planet, Pangaea. Unfortunately, It was at this time that the Earth experienced the greatest mass extinction in our history. The Great Death. Large amounts of greenhouse gases and accelerated global warming have wiped out about 90% of all species on Earth. But this mass extinction helped pave the way for the next wave of animals. The first dinosaurs appeared 230 million years ago. For the next 150 million years, they would rule the Earth. If you were there, you would see the giant sauropod Argentinosaurus, the largest land animal ever. Or you've been chased by one of Earth's largest apex predators, the T-Rex. You can also witness how Pangaea split apart to form today's continents. You may already know where this is going. 66 million years ago, an asteroid hit our planet right where Mexico is today. It coughed up so much debris into the atmosphere that it covered the sun. This caused massive climate changes that led to the extinction of the dinosaurs. In the next wave of emerging animals, mammals became more common. About 6 million years ago, the earliest known humans came into the world. This species was named Sahelanthropus, although they probably still walked on all fours. 4 million years ago, early humans began to walk upright. And about 1 million years later, they developed the first known tools for breaking things. About 800,000 years ago, things woke up. Those early humans discovered how to control fire and could now cook and keep themselves warm. Their brains continued to develop, now faster than ever. These people learned to interact with each other and the world around them in entirely new ways. Between 40,000 and 15,000 years ago, all other human species became extinct except Homo sapiens. As Earth's atmosphere continued evolving, the continents were on the move. They coalesced into the supercontinent Rodinia, possibly the largest ever. Complex life began to develop, but Rodinia eventually broke apart, giving rise to another supercontinent, Pananotia. This period set the stage for the Cambrian explosion between 540 and 485 million years ago, an era marked by a rapid increase in biodiversity, including the emergence of hard-bodied animals like trilobites. The supercontinent Pangaea formed, uniting most of Earth's landmass. However, this era also witnessed the most catastrophic mass extinction event, the Permian Triassic extinction event. The Permian Triassic extinction, or the Great Dying, which wiped out about 90% of species. This paved the way for the rise of dinosaurs around 240 to 230 million years ago. Dinosaurs dominated for the next 150 million years, during which Pangaea began breaking apart into the continents we recognize today. Their reign ended 66 million years ago when an asteroid impact led to their extinction, ushering in the age of mammals. The earliest humans, Sahelanthropus, appeared around 6 million years ago, initially walking on all fours. By 4 million years ago, some human ancestors walked upright, and 1 million years later, they began using tools. Around 800,000 years ago, humans learned to control fire. Homo sapiens, our species, emerged and spread across the globe, with all other human species going extinct between 40,000 to 15,000 years ago. About 10,000 years ago, humans transitioned from nomadic lifestyles to settled agriculture, leading to the rise of civilizations. The Industrial Revolution, starting around 250 years ago, drastically transformed human societies and spurred population growth, which now exceeds 8 billion. However, the industrial era also initiated significant environmental changes, including climate change, posing new existential threats. 10,000 years ago, Earth saw its earliest farmers. These previously nomadic humans stopped wandering the planet and finally put down their roots. Jumping way forward to about 250 years ago, the Industrial Revolution took place. We went through major technological, socio-economic, and cultural transformations. Rural, farm-based societies became more industrialized, urban ones. All this change was driven by coal, then by petroleum and natural gas, which was the beginning of humanity releasing vast amounts of carbon dioxide and other pollutants into the atmosphere. Our human population continued to grow. By 1804, we reached 1 billion. By 1927, we'd hit 2 billion. And since the 1960s, the global population has risen faster and faster to where it is now at over 8 billion people. And now, there's a new threat to human existence and many other forms of life here on Earth: climate change. Temperatures and sea levels are rising worldwide, and biodiversity is declining. The last 250 years have seen unprecedented changes due to the Industrial Revolution. Human society shifted from agrarian to industrial and urbanized, driven by advancements in technology and a reliance on fossil fuels like coal, petroleum, and natural gas. This period saw explosive population growth, rising from 1 billion in 1804 to over 8 billion today. However, this rapid industrialization and population increase have also led to significant environmental degradation, including pollution and the release of vast amounts of carbon dioxide, contributing to global climate change. As humanity faces the challenges of climate change, rising temperatures, sea levels, and declining biodiversity, the potential for another mass extinction event looms. To mitigate these threats, radical solutions are being explored, such as geoengineering techniques like volcanic eruptions to cool the planet by injecting particles into the atmosphere. However, sustainable approaches like reducing carbon emissions, conserving natural habitats, and transitioning to renewable energy sources are crucial for ensuring a stable and thriving planet for future generations. The choices made today will shape the Earth's future, highlighting the importance of global cooperation and innovative thinking in addressing these pressing environmental issues. We could be on the verge of another mass extinction event if things don't change. But what could be a way to stop climate change? Well, we could just set off a bunch of volcanoes.